This video is to help you if you feel like you need more discipline. I often talk to clients who have things that they're intending to do, but they're not doing. And they feel like the answer is that they need more discipline. They need to be more disciplined, to force themselves to do the thing, to be more organized, more structured, and to just like sort themselves out. And usually, what comes along with this is quite a lot of self criticism. So they're generally giving themselves a hard time for not doing the thing and not doing it consistently. So let's just start with, is there an example where this is happening for you? So is there something that you keep intending to do, but then not doing? So it might be getting up at a particular time, getting to the gym, the yoga class, changing something in your diet, getting something done at work, a project at home, a job application, like doing your morning routine the way that you want to do it. Whatever it might be for you, have that in your mind and think about, like, does your brain think that the answer is discipline? And is it criticizing you around it? Because this is very common. And our brains think that this is going to work. They think that if they tell us we have a problem and it's important and we need to sort it out, and if we don't sort it out, we're failing and we're not a good person, it thinks it will work and that we'll do the thing. But you might have noticed by now it doesn't work. And I want to just give you an example to think about that's separate from you, to help you just show your brain that this approach doesn't work, and also to think about some alternative approaches that you could apply to this thing that you intend to do but don't do. So the example is, I want you to imagine that you have a small child and you want them to put their shoes on. So this might be something that is familiar to you from your own life. And if it isn't, you can just imagine. So first of all, imagine that you want the child to put on their shoes and you try to get them to do that using discipline and criticism. So maybe you tell them, right, you've got to put your shoes on right now, no messing about, got to put your shoes on now, otherwise there'll be trouble. And if you don't put your shoes on, you're being naughty, you're not doing what you should do. How effective do you think that will be? Those of you who have kids might have realized, like me, that that kind of approach usually is very ineffective. Children don't respond well to just being told what to do, or to being criticized. And so that's the example I just want you to think about. Like, that is what your brain is doing to you when it's trying to get you to do things in that way. It's following you around, giving you a hard time about it. And it's not helpful. It doesn't motivate us. So then think about you trying to get the child to put on their shoes and you want to be a bit more creative. You want to use more effective parenting methods. What might you do? And the first thing that comes up for me is kindness. So like, if we're nicer to the child, if we're more encouraging, more warm, like, that's usually much more effective. So let's take that as the first thing and apply that to you and your situation. The first thing we want to do is just drop the criticism. And then what else might we do? How might we encourage and cajole the child into putting on their shoes? So one of the things that works well with my kids is bringing in some kind of fun, making some kind of game of it, making some kind of song of it, making it like a joke that they don't want to put their shoes on. Introducing some kind of fun is usually much more effective than discipline. So think about how you could apply that. How could this thing that you intend to do, how could you make it more fun? How could you make it more exciting, more engaging? It's such a good question to be asking yourself. How can I make this fun? And then I think the most interesting thing to think about here is what really makes the difference. What gets a child to put on their shoes, what gets anyone to do anything, is when they actually want to do it. So if my kids are looking forward to where they're going and they know the only way they're going to get there if they put on their shoes, then they put them on, no trouble. And if they're like interested in learning how to put on their own shoes or tie their own shoelaces and they're engaged in that and it's something that they want for themselves, again, it isn't a problem. They just do it. So the most effective method to get us to do anything is actually wanting to do it in the first place. And the good thing is, what we know about this thing that you intend to do, but then don't do, is on some level you want to do it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the intention at all. So, how we can apply this is ask yourself and connect with that reason why. Why do you actually want to do it? Because there's a part of your brain, probably the more primitive part of your brain, that's getting in the way and giving you reasons not to do the thing. And that's what's stopping you. And what we want to do is just like strengthen and engage that more intentional, more evolved part of your brain, that like higher part of your thinking that has set this as an intention and wants to do it. So, what has that part of your brain got to say? Why do you actually want to do the thing? It's so much easier to do something when we actually want to do it. So, let's summarize. As an alternative to discipline and criticism, which our brain thinks is going to be effective but really isn't, we have another approach. So, number one is dropping the criticism and bringing in some kindness instead. Number two is bringing in some fun. And number three is connecting to actually wanting to do the thing. So, if you want to, let me know how you get on with this. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want any more help with it as well, you can get in touch with me on that too.